You're listening to the Consistent Briefing Show podcast on Anchor FM.
Alrighty. Welcome back to another edition of the Conscious Debriefing Podcast. My name is Jason Batt and I will be your host for this evening's podcast. It has just gone after 6 o'clock on this Sunday evening, the 24th of May 2020. Tonight the president will be on TV again, 7 o'clock. Well, we can assume if not 7 o'clock, maybe 7 or 8 o'clock. You know, he's not very fashionable on his times, but we'll see. Level 3, he's probably going to introduce level 3 to us and let us know on what to do and if the bottle stores are going to open. I suppose it is. There was a leaked documentation that went on the social media pages today explaining what's going to happen, namely cigarettes will still be banned, but we are definitely going to be able to buy some beer. beer, glorious beer. My guest today, Robby, I had him on the show before, last year. Great guy. We just generalized on a few things. He generalized a bit on the DA, and then we generalized on conspiracies and why conspiracies is becoming, well, we all know what conspiracies is and how dangerous it can be and how interesting it can be. So and then we spoke about what else we speak about, law and how we as citizens are not using the law to our advantage when it comes to the police making their own decisions. And so there's a guy that we spoke about in the podcast, a Pick and Pay franchise owner that took the police to the court. Well, not the police itself, but 3 policemen in particular, and he got an interdict against them. But we'll speak about that in the podcast, among other things. All right, so let's get into the podcast. Sirana, Robby, my man.
Jason, how's it, man?
Lekker, my China, lekker, man. Wow, what day is it today? I've lost count. Is it day 50 or is it day 60? We're heading for 2 months now.
I think it's 2 months already. Oh, I think it's almost 2 months.
Hey, it's close, eh?
It's Friday today. I think tomorrow's Saturday. Not 100% sure.
No, bro, it's Sunday, man. My wife's got a lovely lekker pork roast in the oven there, so I'm going to have a lekker pork roast. You know, the normal Sunday lunch.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think my wife's forgotten about what day it is because we don't do pork roast.
Are you a lull, bro?
No, not at all. No. I can't. I love bacon too much.
Bro, for the viewers out there, just give a quick intro. Short one.
Yeah, okay. So I'm Robby. I stay in a town called Vanderbijl Park. I run a small consultation business with letting agents for the past 17 years. This year is 17 years. And I don't know. I'm fed up with the lockdown. That's all I can say. I'm irritated to shit about it. That's
basically you just like the guest I had last week. You're just a concerned citizen. That's all. We all concerned citizens. Like
very much. I'm a very much concerned citizen.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mentioned last week too. We don't have PhDs in psychology and what. We're just concerned citizens, yeah. Oh yeah, and we're basically neighbors. Okay, I'm not going to dox you. I don't want to dox myself, but we live just down the road from each other, actually. And this is the second time you're on my podcast.
That's right, yeah. You literally about 200 meters from maybe 300 meters from my house.
Exactly. And how did we meet? Through the ZACP.
Yeah, I think it was through the ZACP Facebook.
Through the ZACP.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Listen, are we gonna rage through? Are we gonna get into it like Alex Jones? You know, we're gonna.
We can go for it. I just need to go find out if I've got some dachazels next door here quickly.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
next
no, of
room.
course.
I've got
Just
enough
to
stash.
get your mindset into that train of thought. Yeah.
No, we'll see how it goes. I'm not as angry as Alex Jones. That's next level crazy.
Bro, I don't know if you watched it. I think yesterday, Jerm made a podcast with Simon Roach. Not Roach, Roche.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the guy from Southlanders.
From Southlanders. Yes.
Yeah. I actually listened to the first half an hour of it.
There's a word for it to describe him. He's very passionate, eh?
He reminds me of of one of these evangelical pastors. Sort of got that pastor vibe about him.
True. He talks calmly, and then it's like, and then the flippin' rage, eh? Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I brought up Alex Jones.
But I reckon Simon Roach is fake, man. I think he's fake. I don't know. He comes across as fake, but yeah, I mean, he's interesting to listen to.
That is another podcast on its own, I suppose. With Statelanders and Doomsday Prophets.
They're the same WhatsApp group, man.
Yeah, no, true. But not everything from what he says should be dismissed. He does have certain points.
Not at all.
I suppose it's just the way he brings across his message and the way he introduces himself, to the world, where people will just go like, "Whoa, this guy's crazy." But then if you just sit down and you listen to what he's saying, okay, it does make sense in what he says.
Yeah, he has every right to exist as an organization. Just he's a bit bonkers for my taste, man.
That's what we're saying. Yeah,
but still interesting to listen to, and some of the points he does say is worthwhile. There's some truth or some method behind his madness, I suppose.
Yeah, no, true. Well, okay, let's get into it. My first question, how can we as citizens stand up against these bully tactics that government and the police are enforcing? Now, when I say bully tactics, okay, there was an article here that I saw on, well, I'm not going to say Facebook because then people say Facebook, but those articles from News 24, not really my popular news site. I don't really always believe what they say, but a Pick and Pay store owner in Kasigo took 3 cops to the police, to court, and he won against the case for
he took an interdict out against
you saw that, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is what I'm trying to say, is how can we as citizens stand up? And that Kasigo Pick and Pay store franchise owner, I take my hat off to him, because what he's doing is exactly what we need to inspire on. Yeah.
So big ups to that guy for doing that, standing up against the police. The most important thing is that he operated within the law. Yeah. Which is important. He followed the proper processes. He went to court. He got an interdict against these police officers, and he won. He got an interdict against them. So I would say rule number 1 is always stay within the law. Secondly, if you don't obviously have, not everyone has access to the legal system, because it's very expensive. So not everyone is fortunate enough to have access to a lawyer that they can pay for, things like that. So what I would say is, try and get involved with your civil rights organizations, like Dear South Africa.
Oh, yes. Rob Hutchison.
AfriForum. Yeah, Rob Hutchinson.
Yeah, I had him on podcast. Great, awesome guy.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah,
he's a very interesting guy. Guys like AfriForum. The one thing that I've noticed with this whole lockdown is that some political parties are like irrelevant at this stage. You've got your civil rights organizations like Dear South Africa and AfriForum. They're busy going to court. It should be the politicians that do that. But, civil organizations are doing that at this stage. Yeah. So, to stop the bullying, you need to support guys like that. Even if you are being bullied and if you're in a situation that you feel you're being bullied or wrongfully arrested or wrongfully harassed, I will contact these guys.
Yeah.
They
It's
will
like
sort you out.
2 weeks ago, and I mentioned in last week's podcast that Balito incident, and then this week we saw now another lady being mishandled by the police in Strand. You know,
I saw that.
and that's exactly it. Yes. So I hope that lady did take these people to court, though, and you know, because she was mishandled, or
Yeah.
was she resisting arrest?
Well, to say it like this is that you've got law-abiding citizens that are being held accountable by unjust laws at this stage. So before lockdown, before the Disaster Management Act, you know, walking on your street or going jogging is normal. It's a normal everyday life. Now it's illegal. So now the law has made your law-abiding citizens become criminals. You know, it's crazy. You know, just because it's the law doesn't mean it's right either. You know, laws can be unjust. So yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. I'm not very impressed with the police at the moment. I'm not, you know, I don't. If I see them, I don't. And that's the thing. Not all police officers are bad people. But if I see them driving down my street, I'm going to keep an eye on them and see what they're going to be doing. I don't trust them as far as I can see them. Yeah.
No, look, I've got a couple of police friends myself in it, but they are people that I can trust, you know, and I'm cool with them. They're cool with me. And if there's something I need to know, I'll just pick up the phone and I'll phone them, and they always give me good, reliable information. But yes, unfortunately, we do live in a country where corruption is big, and that's the type of police officers that do get sucked into that corruption. And we just have to take the law into consideration, and the law is there to help us. The Constitution is still there. And
exactly.
I asked my guest also last week the same question. Well, what's more in favor of the Constitution, or is it because of this Disaster Act is in place now that the Constitution becomes a null and void?
Yeah, it seems at this stage. I made this comment to one of my friends the other day. I said to them, it seems like there's a shadow government running South Africa at the moment. You've got the Constitution, and you know, the democratically elected government on one side, but it's almost like you've got this shadow state that's running the country through the National Corona Command Council. It's like the Constitution's been suspended. It's crazy. I don't know. It feels like, you know, if you went to sleep last year, if you were in a coma last year and you woke up a year later today, I swear you'd think you woke up in a twilight zone.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah.
So I don't know. To me, it seems like there's a shadow state. You know, but the ANC, I mean, you know, I don't have much time for the ANC government.
But the message that I'm just trying to make here is that there's a lot of chance takers out there, and is that if you don't know your law, then you're going to be, you know, they're going to keep on trapping on you. They're going to keep on trapping you. Do something about it. Make the phone call. Yeah. Google, I mean, the Constitution, all other laws is on the internet. That's available. Yeah. Just do not sit back and keep quiet. You know, stand up and fight against these bully tactics.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Standard 6, which is a long time ago, 1996, and it was just when the Constitution was signed. And I remember that we all the people in our school were given a book of the Constitution, a little book of the Constitution. It explained to us what's the Constitution. It was written out what the Constitution, what the Constitution is. I never read it because at that stage it's just like, okay, well, this is another book to read at school. I don't have time for this. This looks pretty boring. But I mean, more people need to actually understand what the Constitution says. It's not that complicated, actually.
It was a different. It was a different era that there was no need to study the Constitution. Now we are making time for it and making a point out of it that I need to understand what my laws and what my rights is. A lot of people are they're not informed. They're not informed on what their rights are actually, and they should.
No, we leave it too late. You know,
Yeah, we leave it too late.
we leave it too late. When our backs are against the wall or backed up into a corner, then you start finding out what the law actually says, and then it's too late sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, you're right. You know, the internet age of today, everything's available on the internet.
Everything's available.
You can do tons of research about the laws in this country.
And if you don't have data, just go to a local mall and use their free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I suppose you could also do that.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not sure which restaurants are open at the moment, but I suppose the mall itself would have its free Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's Fushini, there's Woolworths, and you just go there,
yeah.
you just go on and you're on the Wi-Fi.
So Jason, that's what you do during your spare time, and you like log on to other people's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, because I'm at home, I got Wi-Fi. Okay, so I got Wi-Fi at home, but when you're at work, you don't have much data on your phone. So now there's a video that I want to watch, like Ramon put something on Morning Shot, and I want to watch it now. So I'll quickly go to the Wi-Fi hotspot and then just stand there quickly and watch it.
Nothing wrong with that. I suppose that's what it was designed for.
Yeah. My boss looks at me, he says, Jason, are you stealing Wi-Fi again? Anyway. Our next question. This is your question. The DA. My question is, has the DA finally grown a pair of balls? Am I putting it mildly?
Yeah. Well, you know, if you look at the DA, if you compare them to a year ago, so last year was elections. May month, I think the 8th of May last year was elections. And if you look at them now, a year later, there's a big difference. I'm not saying that they're perfect. I'm not saying they are, but I think there's a big difference. They're no longer doing their identity politics shtick as much as what they were a couple of years ago. They also seem to be not tweeting too much rubbish regarding identity politics and stuff like that. Although I don't really follow some of the other DA politicians on Twitter, so maybe I'm speaking out of turn. But that's what it seems like to me. It also seems like that since they got John Steenhuisen in as interim leader, he seems to be a guy with a total different skill set to what they had with Musi Maimane. It's almost like John Steenhuisen doesn't care about offending people, and Musi Maimane was sort of trying to please all the people at the same time.
I mean, you can see that,
do that.
Yeah, no, true. I agree.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah. So it seems to me like John Steenhuisen is, but that's the problem. He's only the interim leader, so it's not much. There's not much he can actually do until a proper leader has been chosen. It might not be John Steenhuisen. It might be someone else. And also their policies. You can see that they're trying to push their policies to a certain way. Like they're not a fan of BEE because it's failed. Yeah. They're trying to do something a bit more radically different to BEE, but they can't really do it because they need to go through a policy conference or something like that, which is happening later the year. So yeah, it's refreshing to see John Steenhuisen being a bit more arrogant, being a bit more in your face. I think he can go a bit further that way. I think he must be a bit more aggressive, but it's good to see. It's refreshing to see. Hopefully it can continue on this trajectory. But I don't think they're going to win back their lost voters that they lost last year. It's going to take a lot to get those voters back.
Yeah, how much percentage did they lose? Forgot.
I'm not 100% sure, but they lost quite a bit.
It was down. They did lose quite a bit, yeah.
If you look how much the Freedom Front Plus gained in percentage-wise, that's basically that's basically where the difference came. So everyone vied over to the Freedom Front Plus. Yeah. That we're not happy with the DA. So I don't think you will ever win those guys back. It'll take a miracle to win those guys back.
Yeah, true. I noticed, especially in the little dorpie we live in, Van der Bijl pocket, they've grown tremendously. Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing about our little dorpie is that the only councillor that I ever see getting their hands dirty in our municipality is the Vryheidsfront
Is it?
councillor. The others I don't hear from. I don't see them. I don't hear them.
Gerda, I hear Gerda's name a lot.
Gerda Senekal is Freedom Front.
Yeah,
You
her
know?
name pops out a lot, and she's quick to give us information. Like if a power station
Yes.
tips down, she's quick. Them and AfriForum, I mean, we get a lot of info from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. And I mean, AfriForum aren't even a political party. So in our little town, we've got AfriForum that's way more effective than DA. So our local DA councillors need to pull up their socks.
Yeah.
Because next year's municipal elections, and I'm not voting. I'm not voting. If I had to vote today, I'm not voting DA. So
Yeah.
even though they are very refreshing, you know, whatever's coming out of them is refreshing. But I mean, obviously, municipal elections affects me directly. I will still obviously vote for them nationally.
Yeah, it's strange that you should say that. Last year we voted. I'm just trying to think now which it was municipal and national.
No, it was provincial and national last year.
Yeah, provincial and national. So national, I asked my wife to because I couldn't vote. I didn't register. All the years I never registered because I wasn't interested. And then when ZACP popped up, all of a sudden I was now interested and I wanted to register. Oh shit, the expiry date was passed, so I couldn't register. But I asked my wife to vote for. She voted for DA nationally, and then for the municipal.
ZACP.
Yeah, the ZACP. Yeah, but we all know what happened.
I voted the same way.
Yeah.
But you know, again, the important thing is to always vote with your ideals, right? So, you know, it's like you vote for the ANC.
Wait. ZACP last year, they weren't on municipal, yeah, that's right.
They weren't on municipal.
It was only national, yeah. So it was national. My wife voted national, and then for municipal DA. That's right. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So like, what I was saying is that you know, it doesn't help voting for the ANC because they're the winning party and because they got cool yellow T-shirts that you carry on voting for them. You can. It's your right to do that if you want to. I just think you need to, as you mature as a voter. When you're young, you don't really care about ideas. Maybe you do. I don't know. When I was young, never cared much about voting ideology. To me, it was just like, okay, cool. You just vote for DA, and that's it, because that's what your parents maybe voted for.
Yeah.
And you hear them talking about the DA. So as you get older, you say, oh, but I don't know anything else. I'll just vote DA. But as you start getting older and your mind starts maturing or your brain starts developing as an adult, you start to realize that you don't just vote for a party just because your parents voted for it. You start to vote for a party because they agree with your ideology, your ideas about life. You know, what your political leanings are. You know, what you stand up for regarding rights. You know, what you're passionate about in life. That's how you vote. And if you find that there's no one that matches those ideologies or ideas, you don't vote for them. Simple. Then stay away, because actually wasting your time.
Yeah, it's, you know,
so
when
sorry, Jason. So
no, go ahead.
Even though ZACP didn't get many votes, for the first time I've ever voted, I voted for the first time in 2004. For the first time in my life, I could actually like walk away from the voting station and say, wow, I'm really proud because I like the ideas of a party for the first time. And I could 100% agree with the party. So even though they didn't get any seats or whatever, my conscience is clean.
Yeah, no, true. Now, what I was going to say, you know, when we were in school, we didn't know the differences between right and left and central and liberals and that, and libertarian. I didn't know, but it's only now, as you matured and you grew to be an adult, that you start learning what libertarian means. And
yeah. Exactly. But and yet it's so strange. When I was younger, I think I would have still I'm a classical libertarian. So
I consider myself to be conservative, and I think a lot of people hate me for that.
Well, no, nothing wrong with being conservative. A lot of people brand conservatives as being too strict and too stuck up, I suppose. But it's not true. I know a lot of I've also got a lot of conservative friends, and they're strict. They're strict for the reason. It's,
Yeah,
nothing wrong with it.
when people speak about discipline being too strict, that's the left leaning that's talking. The right lean is not talking because the right is still disciplined and strict in that, but they don't want to admit to it because then they're going to say, no, but then you left. This is it.
Yeah, there's also nothing really wrong with being left leaning as well. I think it depends on what it is. But to go like crazy left, I don't know. I think those people have a bit of mental issues. If I have to be honest, I might be wrong about that. I might be wrong, but I think so. It's from what I've seen, that people look bad, man.
Yeah, I know. Flipping crazy stuff, yeah.
Hectically crazy.
Anything more you want to say about the DA?
No. I think I've covered what I think of the DA. I really do hope that they can find their way. Because they were effective. They were effective opposition party. About 10 years ago, they were pretty good.
They were when Musi took over. I just lost all interest. I thought the DA was going the right path.
Yeah.
Now that this is just coming from my opinion. Just giving my 5 cents worth. Now that John is here, John is okay. He's cool in that. I like his visions in that, but I don't know. It's still going to take a lot of convincing to convince me that the party is going back to where it was. Scary.
Yeah, I think we'll know once they got their. I think they call it the policy conference, where they choose new policies or update policies, and they also choose new leadership. I think once that has happened this year, we'll know.
Yeah.
More about the DA. But I'm done with them. I'm done talking about them now. I think I've said all there is about it.
All right. How much? This is a question that I keep asking it in a different approach, I suppose. How much longer can South Africa hold out economically? Yeah. We've seen our favorite podcasters, Germ, Ramon, and Ronaldo. They've been speaking about this time and time after again. But we are heading for a meltdown now.
You know what? Before lockdown, we were heading that way. It's just that I think this lockdown, this hard lockdown by the government that makes absolutely 90% of it is no sense in it. This lockdown is what's going to destroy South Africa, not the virus.
Yeah.
So you're going to read in a couple of years' time, politicians will start saying, no, but it's COVID-19's fault that we are in this financial predicament. They're going to COVID-19 is going to be the martyr. It's going to be the excuse, the scapegoat, and that's rubbish.
Yeah.
What has pushed our country over the edge at this time is not COVID-19. It's the government's reaction to the pandemic. The government has overreacted, plain and simple. The first modelling that was done on this COVID was way off, and I think the government's overreacted based on that modelling.
Yeah, no.
And here we sit.
And I spoke about it last week with Scott about the model that South Africa tried to implement. It's not their model. No, definitely not. No, it's not their model. It's the model that they've been following from overseas.
Yeah.
Like the UK.
I think it's Cambridge Analytica. Cambridge? No, what is it called? It's that. I can't recall what it's called, but it's wrong. They got it wrong. Whoever did that modelling got it wrong.
Yeah, Neil Ferguson. He predicted.
There we go. That's the guy's name.
Neil Ferguson. He predicted that how many millions? A couple of millions. But we're nowhere near that. But then again, we don't know. We don't know if it's going to be more deaths. I don't know. I mean, this virus, to me, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, and we'll get to the conspiracy part later. That's my last question. Is that it is a flu, okay, but it's not a flu that we think it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit worse than the normal flu. But it's not as bad. Not as bad as what they were telling us before. It's a little bit worse than the normal flu, but it's not normal flu. It's still look. I'm not saying it's not dangerous, right? I think it's dangerous, but it's dangerous in the respect that if you are a person who suffers, that's you're older than the age of 60.
Yeah,
you've got
attacks.
comorbidities. Then you're at risk, right? If you're young and healthy, you'll be fine.
You're young and healthy. Your immune system is nice and strong. You're taking the right amount of vitamins.
Yeah.
I know there's a whole list, and I had this podcast with Sky Anderson where he spoke about, where I shared something on my Facebook about vitamin D and standing in the sun. Okay, a lot of it is hogwash, but common sense. Common sense would tell you just look after yourself, get enough rest, eat the right foods.
Yeah.
And I suppose we have been doing that because no one has been having McDonald's and KFC for 2 months now. But now it's okay. Mr. Delivery is open now. So it's back to eating junk food again.
No, that's one thing that I learned about lockdown, right? Is that takeaways is really expensive, man. I did this. I had a lot of time during lockdown. So I drew up like a little budget, right? Because I don't know how finances are going to work and stuff. So you go into survival mode with, you drop a budget, and I drew up an emergency budget.
Yes.
And I actually figured out that takeaways, it's trash. It's rubbish.
But that's
even though it's nice and quick, it's rubbish. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. I can make nicer food by going to my spa up the road from me. And it will work me out cheaper than buying takeaways.
True. But that's the scary part now. This is everything we're speaking about here is about the economy.
Yeah, exactly.
Now people are not going to Debonair's and Spur and KFC anymore.
No.
So it's killing the economy further because more people are going to lose their jobs. And for every person that's losing a job, he can't go out there and pay his account, his Mr. Price account or his Edgar's account, because he's losing jobs. Because now people like you now don't want to go buy Debonair's.
Well, no. Yeah, no, but
you see that the whole chain effect,
I understand, because from the farmer who produces the meat that goes onto the pizza or the cheese that comes from the cow's milk, from the farmer all the way down to the owner of the franchise affected is going to be affected by this.
Yeah,
I understand that. It's just that I remember many, many years ago when I was a child. I grew up in a small little town called Virginia in the Free State. We never had fast food places.
No, true.
Like McDonald's and Steers.
I agree with you fully.
And it was, not much choice. So it was, I don't know. There was a way to live in those days, and a way to we managed. There was obviously slop chips and Russian places. I think we had a KFC, but we didn't have like McDonald's, and we didn't have Steers and Fisherways and Debonair's and Romans. We didn't have those things, And to go out to eat, I think when we ate as children, takeaways was once at the end of the month when our parents got pay, they would treat us once a month to takeaways.
Yeah.
And I think our lifestyles compared from when I was a child to now has become a bit too excessive. With
true.
Takeaways.
No, you're true.
We need to go back. We need to find a bit of more balance.
Spur's been around for a long. Spur's been around for a long time. KFC's also been around a long time. It's like Debonair's. Debonair's is a new. How long's it been in South Africa now? Not as long as Spur.
Sure. I'm sure, but I'm not a Debonair's fan, man, because you don't put burger sauce on a pizza, man.
Yeah.
That's not pizza. I'm sorry, man. If I wanted to order a burger, I would order Steers. I don't want you to trick me to thinking that this is a Steers pizza, but throw the sauce on the pizza.
I agree with you fully. But this was all job creation, eh? All these little franchises popping up. It's job creation and adding to the economy, making the economy stronger to what it was. And then bit for bit, we saw how the ANC and the corruption grew. And then the economy just got weakened, and trade unions came in and implement their laws, forcing companies to close down. There's just been one big roller coaster right, that's just destroying our economy. And now this COVID-19 added on is just adding more to the voos. Yes, likewise, the president says there's business rescue plans out there. There's funding available in that. Companies are getting funding for 3 months in that. But is everybody getting that funding? You know,
We won't know. We will hear the stories after this.
we
You know,
have. I have been
always-
hearing the stories. There's been a lot of, people been saying because of this, I'm white, I'm not getting funding. But that's not entirely true. I have been hearing people have been getting
It's hit-
fundings to save
hit and
their
miss.
business. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hit and miss. Coming back to the economy and before, like I said, before Corona, before these rules were in place, we were in a very difficult position. Extremely. The economy wasn't doing well. I mean, just before the lockdown, Domino's Pizza closed their doors across the whole country.
Yes. Yeah.
Just before lockdown, Domino's Pizza closed their doors because they're not making money here. I'm not saying that it's entirely, it could be mismanagement's fault of the company, but it's difficult in South Africa at the moment.
Yeah.
And we are either going to end up like Venezuela or we're going to end up a success.
Yeah.
But in order for that to happen, I think we've already crossed the threshold. Look, it's going to be difficult from there. You can't reverse this. We can get out of it, though, but I don't think that's going to happen because the ANC are going to double down on their ideology. They're going to try their level best with communism crap, and they're going to sell us down communist river.
Yeah.
And if they carry on in that trajectory, we're stuffed. If they turn around and listen to people like Tito Mboweni in the ANC and follow his advice, he brought out that economic recovery plan. I think towards the end of last year, sometime towards the end of last year, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
If they implement those plans, they can turn it around. But if they do not, and they double down on this crap, we're screwed. It's finished.
No, exactly. I'm just trying to think that they Pick and Pay there by gas monkeys. When last were you there?
I was there yesterday morning, actually.
Did you? Me too. Did you see that stationery store? The stationery store? The stationery store
not
that's
the bookshop.
there.
The bookshop. The stationery store. Just
the stationery store.
Yeah,
Did you see they were busy unpacking, closing down store?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
that.
They're closing down store. And then if you look at the amount of stores that's closed also in there, there's a Biltong shop there that's closed down. But that Biltong shop was closed before the lockdown.
Yeah, the Biltong. Yeah.
But there was one or two that have closed now during this lockdown, and the stationery store being one of them. That's just in our town. I can just imagine how many other little stores in other towns in South Africa that is closing down. And this is the scary part, man.
You know what is going to be the problem? If you look at the malls, for example, the shopping centers and the malls, they've been battling for a number of years already. So there's a mall in Vereeniging called River Square.
That's
River Square, right, Jason?
Yeah, Vereeniging.
It's so quiet. That mall is so quiet. Before lockdown even. I'm talking about January, February this year, even towards a bit last year. Empty. Some of the shops are empty. They're battling. The landlords are battling to find tenants in these malls because there's no more. There's two things, I suppose. And number one, rent's really expensive. They can't afford it. And I'm hoping that number two is that they've actually decided that we don't need a brick and mortar building. We can move to online or e-commerce. So we can do the same stuff without renting inside a mall. We just have an online presence and use couriers to deliver our products. I'm hoping that's the case.
Listen, e-commerce, online shopping, it's happening, eh? People are buying online again, eh? It was during
banned.
the lockdown. Yeah, it was banned, yeah. But it's back now, I believe.
Because of our Ibrahim Patel piece of rubbish, absolute trash politician. They said that guy should be shot. Like, put in front of a firing squad and shot. He's absolutely useless.
Yeah.
I think I think bubble gum stuck on the bottom of my shoes got more use than that guy. Because, you know, e-commerce is like very small risk involved in spreading any bloody disease. You know, it's you order something from Takealot, they pitch up at your house, boom, 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 you take the box. You know, there's like very little human to human contact.
I know what it was about. It was about the surfaces. And they say the virus can survive on the surface, but now recently we've discovered it's a bunch of bloody hogwash.
But Ibrahim Patel never said that, right? His reasoning behind it was that he said that we're banning e-commerce because we feel that it's unfair to the spaza shops. So if the spaza shops have to stay closed.
Did he really say that?
Has to stay closed. Yes, he did.
I can't actually believe he said that.
So now I'm saying to myself, but that's like me saying, I've got a little fit cook shop down the road that I just started. And that's like him saying that we have to close down Spur because it's unfair to this little fit cook shop. You know, it's absolute trash, man. It's like closing down my school's tuck shop because Checkers is a threat to them. You know, it doesn't make sense. There's and Takealot or e-commerce do not even compete directly with the spaza shop. You know, a spaza shop sells mostly a bit of grocery stuff, you know, food-wise. I suppose they sell stationery and some things like that. But most of the stuff is food. Now, how the hell is Takealot threatening, you know, a spaza shop's existence? You know, unbelievable. So, no, man, I'm glad that the e-commerce has opened up.
You know, that first week when Mr. Delivery went back online and they could order again, customers could order, they had to get Takealot to help them. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw
Mr. Delivery couldn't handle the demand, so Takealot had to come in and assist him. It was crazy that first week.
Very crazy. And it's good because, you know, it shows me that there's an opportunity somewhere.
There was.
With this.
You know, to a certain extent, and I predicted that would happen. I predicted that Mr. Delivery would get some help, would need some help. But then, of course, last week now and this week past now, when you walk past Steers and Debonair's and that, you see the Mr. Delivery bikes, at least 7 of them just standing there waiting. So, yeah, it's mid-month, of course. So business did take a dive a bit. But now watch next week. Next week we're heading into mid-month, month end. And it's going to go up again. Yeah.
I suppose it will be, but I wonder, I suppose, you know, there's in a couple of months time from now. It's going to be new payday month now. Yeah. But I wonder how many people are actually going to buy takeaways, because I wonder how many people in their households have lost a breadwinner, or, you know, how many people have actually lost their job. I don't know these statistics. I don't know. I hear the people talking about the statistics, but I don't know. Like I read, I think this morning somewhere, about 188,000 jobs lost so far. Could be more.
CCMA
or the Treasury.
Yeah, true. CCMA has got their hands full now. Got their hands very full.
Yeah, man. So even though they've, you know, things are opening up now, e-commerce is open, and you can order your takeaways and things like that. I don't know how much is going to be left of it. You know, I think we're finished, Jason. Honestly, I think economically speaking, it's just going to be a bit more tougher now.
I spoke to my wife this morning when we went to go buy stuff for our lunch, our pork roast. I said to it's going to be a thing of where we're going to go to shops just for essential, just to buy your essential goods and your food and that. Your luxury items, your high-priced value items, and that those are the oaks that are going to be targeted now, and they're gonna close their doors. The high market stuffs, and it's sad. Yeah. We got the speech. We got the speech tonight again. If he comes on time, if Ramaphosa comes on time.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect from this guy.
Did you see that?
Going to level 3.
Yeah. Did you see the post I shared this morning about the drafts?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Through some of the drafts. Yeah.
And everyone's saying that booze will be available, which is great. I'm so dying for a beer.
Now, I must be honest though, I have managed to get some alcohol during the lockdown.
No, me too. But you can't afford
but-
those high prices
No,
all
that's
the
the
time,
point.
bro.
That's the point.
Yeah,
That's the point. With the black market prices, I won't buy beer. I would rather buy whiskey.
yeah,
Because, beer you can finish quickly because it's, you can drink 6 beers now.
no.
But a bottle of whiskey, I battle to drink a bottle of whiskey in one night. I can't. A bottle of whiskey generally lasts me about 3 weeks.
No,
So
there's
Yeah.
groups. This is one group on Facebook that's asking if you had to make a choice between cigarettes and alcohol, which one would it be? Well, you know my obvious one.
when you say choosing which one to live without or choosing
Well, to lift the ban on, because now obviously cigarettes is not going to be unbanned now. Cigarettes are still going to be banned. So
here's my point. I can live without alcohol, right? Definitely. I mean, I've just now been forced by the government in the last week or two to actually stop smoking, man. The government have made me, have forced me to stop smoking. It's a good thing, but when you quit something, it's generally got to be on your own terms.
Yeah.
It's not something you force anyone to do. And that's what's happened. I've had to now quit smoking because, like booze prices,
that's the
I'm
libertarian.
not paying.
That's the libertarian speaking in you now.
There's no way I'm paying $800 a carton of smokes, my man. I don't care how desperate I am. No, it's no way. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't. I would rather smoke grass.
No, I'm happy that they're going to lift the booze. Of course, restaurants and that and entertainment, they're still going to be closed. Spur and that is still going to be closed. So it's still sad.
Jason, you know what? There's no this lockdown is, I drive around, right? I go to work every day now, Monday to Friday. Okay, I go to work.
Yeah.
It looks like a normal day. It looks like a normal day.
Yeah.
People are driving around. People are out and about.
Yeah, and
this lockdown is not about people's health anymore. They've locked the economy down.
That's it, and that's my next question. We seem to be getting a lot of conspiracy theories lately, and it's to be expected. My question here is there a motive behind some of them?
Well, that's a conspiracy in itself to actually say yes, there is a motive behind it. That's like a whole conspiracy theory.
It's strange. We're human beings, and human beings, we all react in this manner. If we're in this lockdown now, so of course you're gonna make conspiracies. Of course you're going to.
So, I was, when you asked me this question the other day, I was thinking to myself this morning about it. I was thinking, why do we react to certain ways? Why do people always expect the worst, or why do they share something that seems crazy? But then I thought about this, and this is what I can come up with. So people, when there's a thing like this lockdown, national state of disaster, it rattles us a bit. It makes us a bit scared of the unknown. So because we're ruled by that fear of the unknown and the fear of we've never been in this situation before, we start seeing, like, maybe a friend will share you an article, something on WhatsApp, or you'll see something on Facebook, and because you're in a state of fear, subconsciously or unsubconsciously, we tend to latch onto these things. It resonates with us for some reason. I don't know if by reading it calms us down, or it helps us lash out, helps us to express ourselves. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think when there's sudden fear, quick fear, like, oh, we're in a lockdown now. The first 2 weeks, the first week was fun. The second week, not so fun. And then you start thinking about, you spend all this time at home, now you got to start thinking about the future. What happens if this happens? What happens if this happens? And your mind starts overreacting.
Yeah, true.
The one thing I've noticed, and I'm glad about this, the one thing I noticed with this lockdown, how irrelevant mainstream media has become. ENCA, CNN, even a bit of Fox News, it's trash. News 24, it's trash. The thing I'm glad that's happened is alternative media has seen a drastic increase. I saw that a lot of the guys, I think Germ and Ramon, I think their subs have doubled during the lockdown. Their subscriptions have doubled.
That has.
So that's great.
I'm still struggling.
That's fantastic.
I'm a struggling YouTuber. But they have. I mean, Ramon has tripled. I mean, he's got 7,000 subs now. Germ's got 5,000
now.
Is it 9,000?
Yeah.
Yo, unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy. So, but that's the one thing. Like, I noticed during the lockdown, I never ever once switched on ENCA. I never once switched on CNN. Nothing. I didn't even watch SABC. I didn't watch ENCA. I watched nothing on mainstream media. I switched on and I managed to tune into, IRR, Big Daddy Liberty, Ramon, Germ, and sometimes Ronaldo. Yeah, that's where I got my news from, and it seemed pretty accurate to me. It was the voice of reason, where I looked at some of my family members who are not as tech savvy as what I am, because they're a little bit older. They watch all this rubbish on mainstream media, and they're like more fearful, and they're the ones that generally send me fake news. So
true.
I don't know. That's what I was thinking about. I don't know. I don't know if there's a conspiracy theory about that there's more. I just think that there's just so much information being pumped out by mainstream media. They are, they need clickbaits, man. Fear gives you clickbaits, and they need clickbaits because mainstream media is battling financially.
Yeah.
You've got a couple of places in South Africa that are obviously closing down. I think Mail and Guardian is like busy about to close their doors.
And I used to love the Mail and Guardian. I thought the Mail and Guardian used to give legit news. They did. And then all of a sudden, as the years, they did. They did. Unfortunately, now they're not so popular anymore, Mail and Guardian.
No, man. I don't know. There's something wrong with journalism in this country. I don't know entirely what it is. I don't know what the answer. I don't know what's going on. Like everything's become so woke, everything's like, it's like one newspaper outlet is trying to be more trendy than the next one. News 24, that journalism is not what it was once before. Look, don't get me wrong, there's very good journalists in this country, very good journalists. But
geez, did you read about that journalist that had to flee for his life to Lesotho? Paul, I forgot.
Yeah,
I'll put it on the screen. Yeah, I still don't know why.
The full story.
Yeah, I've got the article. Maybe I'll share it to you later. I think it's on my wall somewhere. Yeah. He just had to flee. The cops assaulted him. He went to the police station. They assaulted him further there, and then the next thing you know, when he got home, there were cop cars, police cars driving up and down his road. And then the next thing you know, he had to leave, him and his family, to Lesotho, and the UN. Apparently the UN's involved and they protected him.
Oh, wow. That's a massive indictment.
I don't know what the motive behind it is. Why did he have to flee? Why is his life in danger? And again, maybe there's a story that he had. It was a scoop he had and he was going to put it online, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw the headlines. I didn't go too much into the story. I just, was shocked to hear that,
But again, that story is going to go cold, and we're not going to get any further news on it. It's because there's so much articles that come out, and you make a point of it. You say, I want to follow up on that story. But then as the weeks go by, you get interested in other stories that you actually forget about that story. And this is the thing. You just don't get the truth of what's going on around you. Because it's just too much. Too much information.
Journalists fleeing the country because they fear for their safety. I mean, that sounds like, 1960s, 1970s South Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, and that's what it seems like. It just seems like there's no more, number one, media credibility, and number two, there's no more. I don't know. Media's not protected anymore. I mean, this guy had to flee South Africa to go to Lesotho.
Yeah, to Lesotho, of all places.
He asked the United Nations to help him to get out of the country. That's wrong, man. That's
flipping crazy.
That's wrong. It's wrong.
You
But
were-
yet, all these guys do, nothing happens to these guys. You harass
Exactly.
a journalist, nothing happens. Where did these guys go to? They don't go to jail. How many freaking politicians are in jail?
Yeah, exactly.
But let me go surfing down the road, let me go surf on the Vol Dam quickly, even though there's no waves. Then I'm going to get arrested. I can't even go fishing in the river. You get arrested.
Yeah, you get arrested. Yeah, you'll get arrested. Cops will catch you there. They will pick you up. Yeah, maybe you got to put a scarecrow there and hide in the bushes. So when you see the cops run into the bushes, then they'll arrest the scarecrow.
No, man. If I see the cops running, I just throw donuts after them. I just throw donuts down the road. Distract them with donuts.
I shared something on my wall, a video. I don't know if you saw it this morning. I wrote to the again, conspiracy theorists are the devil. Lol, I don't see a lot of Karens in this video or Karens. Basically,
I'm going to check it.
it's a video of people in the township and they drinking brandy. It's actually an old video that I know I've seen that video before. It's not
You
recent.
put it on this morning.
Yeah.
Oh.
You check there.
I'll check here.
It's just you see people there.
No, I saw this.
It's
I saw
old.
this
It's an old video.
I thought at the beginning of lockdown, but I don't know. It could have been.
No, it's an old video. But then what that lady is saying there, that the person who posted it now is making it sound like it happened yesterday, for argument's sake,
Oh, yeah.
It's,
Look, I see what you're saying. Like these people put on like fake videos, and it's an old video. Look, I suppose generally they get it from someone. Yeah, it's like a chain message. Generally, they get
it's
it
like
from
a chain
someone.
message. But these are people that are not actually following up on their facts, and they're not actually fact checking it.
That's the thing. That's the
They're
thing.
not fact checking it.
This is one thing I've always said to myself now. If I get a piece of video or photo or whatever, I always ask myself, is this real? Does it look legit? Always like delve a little bit deeper. But this is an old video, so that's trash.
It's an old video. I think
that's fake news.
I think what this Corin, is it safe to say Corin? She's a Corin, yeah.
Yeah, let's call her.
She's a Corin.
Yeah.
What she's trying to say is, look what's going on, guys. We're in COVID-19 and people in locations and township and rural areas are all drinking and sharing from the same glass and that. So the spread. So what she's trying to say, the spread of this coronavirus is not really true. That's the message I'm getting. That's the message I'm getting you. If you read a description there,
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that like I look at my neighbors. I mean, and they've had a couple of their family members and friends over for a couple of braais.
Hey, don't be a snitch now. Don't be a snitch
now. Fine. I'm not telling you who my neighbors are, right? No one knows my stuff. I'm not telling you who my neighbors are.
I'm just joking.
And you know what? When I see that, right, I clap my hands, right? I'm so thankful that these guys are deciding to carry on with their lives. Obviously they'll be safe or whatever, things like that.
Yeah.
But you don't snitch on your neighbors, man. You don't snitch on anyone. Just let people live their lives.
But
bloody hell.
But that's what a Corin is. A Corin is a person who snitches.
Yeah, I think they've got mental problems, man. You know what? These people that sit in their middle class homes that stitch on other people because they go to work or because they go do whatever. I don't know. Either they're depressed and lonely, or they've got so much freaking money that they don't really care if everyone else carries on with their lives. It's one of those two. Maybe it's both. The people are crazy, man.
It's like they're hairdressers, So they need to survive as well, They're not getting income now because they're on lockdown. So of course they're going to call their friends and their clients to come to their house and cut their hair, cut my hair in it. And that's the thing. The neighbor next door is seeing it and phones the cops. Yeah. And now that whoever the hairdresser is must get now arrested, the hairdresser is the breadwinner of the house. The breadwinner was trying to bring in money to try and feed their family. Now, how does that hairdresser now feed her family now? Because she's not getting an income.
I heard of a hairdresser here in Vanderbijl Park that was doing hairdressing from their house, and the police rocked up there, fined the hairdresser 5,000 rand, fined one of the clients 1,000 rand, and on top of that, they confiscated the hairdresser's equipment.
Yes.
I'm like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, just don't.
Can't even pay from insurance.
just don't say on camera that you know of a couple of hairdressers, because the police will come to you and interrogate you and say, take us to that hairdresser.
No. Well,
I'm just
I read this
saying.
in the news. I don't know any hairdressers. I don't know any hairdressers personally, but I read this in the Volweekblad. How this hairdresser was fined 5,000 rand and her equipment was taken away. I'm like, crap, man.
It was also in the local newspaper, yeah.
Yeah,
of,
man.
of hairdressers being arrested. It's sad. Then of
But
course
then,
yeah, carry on.
Then I heard of a very cool. I drove past a car wash the other day. Magic Garden car wash. I want to say the name because there's a reason I'm saying it.
Yeah.
So they don't advertise themselves as a car wash anymore. They now advertise themselves as a disinfecting station for your car.
Oh.
And I think that's bloody brilliant.
I suppose that's
bloody brilliant.
I suppose that's how he got his permit, yeah. Could be.
Mr. Officer, I'm not washing the person's car. I'm disinfecting them. This is a disinfecting station for the car.
But do you know now?
Brilliant.
Do you know car washes now, or they've been on? Sorry, lost my train of thought.
They're locked down.
They locked down again. They were on lockdown. Then they managed to get permits, and then the police now on Friday, I believe they were driving around and closing car washes down. Again, sad.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. You know, I mean, the times I've taken my car to a car wash, I don't try to wash my car myself. But, you know, I could take my car to a car wash at least twice a year, or maybe 3 times on average. But now here's the thing. The amount of times I sit and talk to other people at a car wash, it's like zero. I drop my car off and I go sit and wait for it, or I vie to the shops while it's being washed. Like, there's no risk of me catching the virus. I'm not
exactly my point, yeah. There's no risk in flipping washing your car at a car wash. I mean,
but again, it's not about the virus, Jason. This is about control, my man. This is bullshit.
It's further weakening down the economy. That's what it is. It's just weakening the economy. And
the ANC will burn this country to the ground rather.
The famous NDR that's supporting this.
Yeah, the National Democratic Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the comrades. I'm not talking about the marathon. So the comrades can be filthy rich while the rest of us peasants die in fucking squalor.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's ridiculous, man.
Conspiracy theories can be good. There can be a lot of conspiracies out there that are interesting and worth reading.
Look,
there's a lot that gets you into trouble.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conspiracies that can get you into trouble. So, like that journalist that had to flee now to Lesotho.
Yeah, but
he could have had a scoop.
Conspiracy theory or not, right? It's freedom of speech, right? So
it is.
You know, if someone wants to come up with a weird ass theory about a conspiracy, you know what? It's freedom of speech, man. So I would rather listen to the tinfoil hats idea than not hear it.
Yeah, like Alex Jones.
How crazy it is. Yeah, like Alex Jones. Okay, Alex Jones, to me, he's not entirely a conspiracy theorist. He's a bit crazy. But I would rather listen to Alex Jones, right? I don't want him to be banned. I don't want anyone to be banned. Like Julius Malema, I don't want him to be banned. I want to know what the dickhead says.
Yeah,
because if you ban him, you just drive them underground. You don't shut them up. They find another way to talk.
I used to like watching Joe Rogan's podcast a lot too. But
yeah, man.
He's all right. I've lost interest now. I think he's gone to the left there. Huh?
Well,
I think he has. To a certain degree, he's gone to the left.
He's moving over to Spotify. He's leaving YouTube. You know that?
Yeah, which is bullshit because my podcast is not on Spotify anymore. Because you have to pay.
Yeah, okay. He's leaving YouTube. He's taking like millions of subscribers with him when he does that. And the reason he says is because he's tired of YouTube and big tech censorship. You know, and that's why I say, you say he might be leaning to the left a little, but he's not one of these crazies, you know. He's all right. I mean, at least he's trying to stop censorship.
No, he's not
YouTube.
crazy, for sure.
But it's interesting. It's interesting that he's leaving YouTube to go to Spotify. He's taking a lot of. I don't know how many subscribers he's got. Let's check quickly. I don't know. Yes, I mean, he's all the subscribers with him.
A good couple of million.
It's ridiculous. Let's just check here. I don't know if I can bring it up. I'll tell you now. Let's just check here. Joe Rogan.
Oh man, Joe Rogan, come on.
Here we go.
8.4.
He's got 8.47 million subscribers.
Yeah.
And they're going to go with him. So YouTube loses like 8 million subscribers to Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. But YouTube has been full of crap lately these days, or last few months. I even put some of my video. I even put my podcast on BitTube because BitTube doesn't really censor.
Oh yeah, BitTube.
Yeah, BitTube.
Yeah. I've heard about that.
I didn't follow up completely on why he's leaving YouTube and that.
Yeah.
I just saw that he's going to Spotify. But is it going to be video? Is his podcast? Because Spotify is all just audio, isn't it?
I don't know if it's going to be video or not. I suppose maybe it will be. Rogan's got all the equipment. I don't know. It might be a good. It might be a good way for Spotify to attract other video podcasters. It's a big move that. I mean, and I think they're paying him like $20 million or something ridiculous to move to Spotify, which is ridiculous. It's a crazy amount of money, man. I'd also do it. I'd do it for 10% of it.
And he's a conspiracy theorist through and through. Yeah, so a lot of his shows.
Look, I watched the one with him and Alex Jones. It's like one of my favorite podcasts of Joe Rogan because Alex Jones is off the hook, man. The guy's so passionate, man. So it's funny, man. Yeah, I don't know. I like Joe Rogan, but I'm not a massive. He's not someone I listen to every week. It depends who he interviews. I don't actually watch much international podcasters. I mostly watch South African. Yeah. No,
true. I haven't been watching Joe Rogan for quite some time now. There was one. I'm trying to think. The one from Elon Musk. Yeah, that one I wanted to watch further because and Tim Pool. That's the one I wanted to watch. The one from Tim Pool. He recently. Did a podcast with Tim Pool. Because Tim Pool's also got some interesting stuff to say.
Yeah, well, he's a CEO of Apple, so yeah, man. I like Apple as a company. I think they're one of the few companies that
who's the CEO of Apple?
I think it's Tim Cook, man. Sorry, not Tim Pool.
No,
you said Tim Pool.
I said Tim Pool. Sorry, you had me there for a while.
Man.
No, that reporter.
Tim Cook. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, Tim Pool. Yeah. I think the Renegade report did have him on once. Tim Pool.
That's right. Yeah.
Speak under correction.
Yeah, but I don't really like. I'm not one of Joe Rogan's 8.47 million subscribers.
Wait, I lost you. Your sound.
Check every now and then. Can you hear me now? Just hold on.
Wait, no, it's me. My plug for my speaker. Yeah, my plug for the speaker. So I had to unplug it now. So the sound's coming through my laptop. No, okay, man.
I don't follow him up. I don't really subscribe to. I'm not one of his 8 million subscribers. I just find him interesting. I just go check to see who's interviewed in the last couple of episodes, and if I like it, then I listen to it. But I generally enjoy the South African guys more.
Yeah. That's it. I think there's nothing more. I don't even know how long we've been talking. We've been talking for an hour, A little bit more.
I think so. A little bit more than an hour.
Didn't even notice the time. I got so carried away. This was an interesting conversation, man.
It's pretty cool, man. Thanks for inviting me back on the podcast. I enjoyed it. It's pretty fun. It's very fun. Man. It's nice. And yeah, man, you and your family must stay very well, Jason. We'll get through it. Finish, we can braai, man.
Yeah, of course, man.
Done, we can
of course, man. Well, at least by next week Monday, I can have a nice beer. I can have a beer in my hand, bro. Well, I'm hoping.
What's the first beer you're gonna buy?
Amstel, bro. Amstel's my beer. I dig my Amstel. Amstel, yeah, no shit.
That's crazy. I'm not much of a beer drinker. I like beer, but it's not my favorite. If I do drink beer, I drink Castle Light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
I
my
don't-
second.
I-
That is my second beer. Yeah, my second favorite. It's called
Castle
Light.
Light's nice. Well, the reason I like it is if you drink like a Black Label, my man, and you drink like 3 or 4 of them in a row, man, you're gonna be wasted. Well, that's how I find it.
Yeah, Black Label
Very
knocks
strong,
you.
man.
And Black Label's
Very
only
strong.
got that
So,
extra 0.5%. It's amazing how that 0.5% knocks you.
it's crazy. It's crazy. But the reason I like Castle Light is because it's light, obviously.
Yeah,
it's
it's 4%.
nice. It's nice. It's decent beer. It doesn't bloat you as much as the other beer as well. You know, that's what I don't like about beer.
If I go out to a bar, then I'll buy like Windhoek Light, because Windhoek Light is like 2.4% alcohol. So
Yeah.
And then if you drink 12 Windhoek Lights, it does absolutely nothing to you.
That's the thing.
At least you stand in there with your friends and you lift in your hand. You know, you gotta. If you're not lifting your hand, then your friends. And you know, most of my friends are all Afrikaans, and they look at you and they go, "Nee man, wat gaan aan met jou? Waar is hy dop?"
Yeah. I've also got a lot of Afrikaans friends, man, and they all make sure that there's a drink in your hand.
There's got to be a drink in your hand, yeah. So no, yeah, that's why I say when I go out, Windhoek Light.
That's what I say. That's why I got hooked on to Castle Light. You go hang around with Afrikaans people, stick to Castle Light. Don't drink brandy with these guys, because these guys drink under the table, and then you're dead.
But listen, tell me quickly, when you go to your friends, you know, what time do you eat at night? Do you still eat like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock? At night, you remember that? You remember the Barry Hilton joke? No gaan ons braai.
Yeah. No gaan ons braai. Well, one of my friends, he does that. He does it. I'm not mentioning names. But he does it. He braais at like 2 o'clock in the morning. The party's still going. So I've learned, if I go to this guy's house, I eat before I go, my man. I tell you, I eat before I go. I have a meal before I go, because I know by the time 2 o'clock in the morning comes, I'll be able to eat then again.
Nah, kak. I don't care. I tell my friends straight. I say, get the coals, start that fire now. Like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, I want that fire on the go, bro. Because I don't want to leave too late. I want to eat now.
It depends if it's summer or winter. Now, winter, the O's don't do it. I see that they get this fire going at early in the afternoon, 5 o'clock. Fire's going, my man. There's no 11 o'clock stories in the winter because it's too cold.
Yeah. Okay, my man.
Yeah.
Don't go. I just want to do my closing. Okay, my podcast is Robby. Once again, thank you very much. Thanks for joining me, bro.
It was a pleasure.
My podcast is available on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's on Spotify anymore. I must actually check. YouTube and BitTube and many more platforms, and Anchor FM. Guys, thank you very much. I'll see you next week in my next week's podcast. Cheers. Bye-bye.